brothers, when they share a Iran, having dreams about who's being lifted up by the chariots, they always call black people. That's what they say, and that's what I told the brother. I said, "Look, bro, it's in the spirit because the Lord is revealing them how the nation of Israel really looks like." Because we were looking like them too.
I've heard brothers say that we're gonna get our melanin back. Like, well, no, we extrapolate, but we know that the original 12 tribes, when they came out of Jacob, were so-called. We could call them so-called black men.
Y'all had, I believe,
color has to come.
We're gonna have
a different variations.
I think y'all had woolly hair too. I think yeah.
That's why we got
like your hair
curls.
right now. I think y'all had woolly hair too.
Yeah, we had curls. I mean, all types, but mainly it was curly.
Mainly
it was curly. Yeah.
Because it's just that gene is strong.
Yeah.
But since we went to Syria and all of that.
What does it say? Ephraim is a cake.
Not turned. That's like a pancake.
Ephraim have named himself among the people. Like
you see, one side is light brown, but all right.
Okay,
my turn. Open up. All right. Brothers ready?
Yep.
All right. Hey, shalom, Yasharallah. You know, we are GMS Boise, Idaho. And we come out week in and week out prophesying the downfall and destruction of Babylon the Great, known as America. You know, and when we use the Bible, the scriptures, our Bible, our history, our lineage, our laws, you know, and the book that is the prophecy, the book of prophecy that we use to extrapolate and explain all these world events that people want so desperately answers to. And as you can see, one of the major signs is these prophets on the highways and byways telling you exactly what it is. We are here just to bring a message. We are not here to bring you salvation. That's Yahawashi. We're here to bring you the message through the word, and if the Spirit is working with you, amen. The Spirit will cause you to want to learn more. But before we get into this lesson, we're going to face the east and give all praises, honor, and infinite glory to
Yahawah, bahasham, Yahawashi, bahasham, rahach, wadash.
And of course, double honors to our beloved elders and apostles at Great Millstone that taught us this truth. While peace and salutations to all you hopeful elect document out there laboring, that are pushing this word, risking your lives and your freedom, especially in these last days, as Elder Malcolm says, to do so, man. You know, because these times and what we're coming into, you know, are going to be elevated, as we know. And ever since I've been in this truth for all the years, you know, like it's as long as most brothers can attest to the same statement, that after the Passover, things always escalate. And we are coming up on the Passover here very shortly. And so we'll see what the leveling up is going to be. You know, but if you brothers got anything to spirit,
I got something to open it up.
All you.
Unless your brothers got something.
All you.
I got one scripture, brother.
I have two.
One of the things is taking the sleep of the elites is the waking up of the nation of Israel, right? And we can see that we're coming, or we're living now in the last days of this kingdom. And to the people that want to keep this kingdom going, they're afraid of the situation that is going on in Iran and more different nations being affected for all the destruction of the oil distribution. All right, it's a catastrophic destruction of the dollar. And we told you for years and decades that there was going to be a day that the dollar was going to collapse. So we're seeing it closer and closer, man. The dollar is about to go down because they want to establish the new system.
And we're not the ones saying this. You have your economists, their whole profession is looking at the money, and they're saying the same thing the brother is, man.
Yeah, the digital system, that is the new economy that is going to run the world. The dollar is running the world as we know today, but they're going to change it. The elite, and they found the more stupid person to do it, which is Donald Trump. All right, he's a proud man. He doesn't know. He changed his mind every minute. He's a love of money. That person really cares about more money than America. All right, he promised you a lot of things, and he lied to you. All you that vote for him. But I want to read one scripture because we've been telling you who we are. We are the true Hebrew Israelites. That's a prophecy that in the land of our captivity, we were going to remember ourselves. Because Yahawah bahasham Yahawashi sent the Spirit, man.
That's right.
That's what is taking the sleep of the elite. This is the book of Hosea chapter 1 and verse 10. And it says, yet the number of the children of Israel shall be as the sand of the sea, which cannot be measured, not numbered. And it shall come to pass that in the place where it was said unto them, ye are not my people, then it shall be said unto them, you are the sons of the living power. All right? So we are in those days. We are claiming our heritage, man. We're telling you that we are the descendants of the nation of Israel. We're telling you about prophecy. Okay? America is going to be destroyed in World War III. And there is no way anyone the one to make peace would change it. All right? We've been telling you for years. And now, what you see?
Yeah,
What you see? Are we lied to you, or or what's going on? What do you think about it?
Yeah, we see the draft coming. We see prices getting inflated. You know, like the brother said, that we're not just being called Mexican or black anymore, man. If we're such a low level, low IQ, don't know how to do nothing, you know, nothing but what do you call it? Delinquents and degenerates and people that are just on the street, man. Why is this man take so much of his resources to keep us down? Why on a systemic level he has to keep us separated, steal our inventions, steal our patents? You know, what is it called? Grassroots movement that has been beneficial to our people. This man has infiltrated and completely destroyed. Like the movie Judas and the Black Messiah. And not like the Black Panthers had the right corrections, but the point being is that anything that the so-called Negro, Latino, or Native American man does in unity, Esau, Edom, the self-proclaimed white man, is going to come and destroy. And we have history to be our best teacher. Even if you don't believe the Bible, look at this man's history. But the scriptures will cut you even deeper than any history that we can show to your face, man. If you got a scripture, brother, go ahead and bring it out.
This is Revelation chapter 11 and verse 11. And after 3 days and a half, the Spirit of life from the Most High entered into them. And they stood upon their feet, and great fear fell upon them which saw them.
All right? Who are watching us? The more that are worried about, because they know the truth, as the scripture says, it's Satan, man, which is the elite. All right? Isaiah chapter 14. All right? It's the one that explains who has the light today.
And that 3.5 days is that 350 years that the Spirit, in a way, completely left us, that we did not know who we were as a people. Yet you had the slaves getting unloaded on slave ships writing Hebrew in the churches. You had just recently a Roman artifact uncovered in a catacomb in Mexico. Yeah. You have menorahs being pulled out of Mexico. Paleo-Hebrew written throughout all of the Americas. We have 2 posters full of pictures and evidence from the Lost Luna stones to the Decalogue stone in Ohio to the Bat Creek stones in Tennessee, man. We know what we're talking about when it comes to bringing the point of the truth to you, man. We're not here to debate what you believe in your doctrine. We're here to give you the message, to break it down to you plainly, and if you can receive it in the Spirit, man, the Lord is dealing, man, and the Lord loves you.
Read that again now, bro.
This is Revelation chapter 11 and verse 11. And after 3 days and a half, the Spirit of life from the Heavenly Father entered into them, and they stood upon their feet, and great fear fell upon them which saw them.
All right. So we lost our identity for 350 years, man. Okay? We lost our identity. But the Lord sent the Spirit again to our elders. Okay? And now we are back telling you who we are. Okay, what is the name of the Father and what is the name of the Son? And who we are as a nation. Okay? And that's only can happen because the Lord lift us back again to life, because we were dead spiritually.
Yeah, and that's that standing upon your feet and
Yeah.
the great fear. Because when the white man sees a so-called Negro, Latino, Native American doing anything in unity, he gonna be mad, because he's so mad that he's not gonna be able to cash out on his retirement because his dollar's falling. All his grandkids are some homos, man. You know, that's why white man mad. You know, that he has no future in this great old Babylon the Great, man. But us, we're standing on our feet, happy as hell. You know, that this place is falling, and great fears on all these people, the fact that we don't care about how you feel. We're bringing you this message. You know, we got damn Satanists thinking about looking at tarot cards and palm readings and shit, man, trying to look at any other way. You have that Project Looking Glass, where they're magi's and witches and warlocks try looking into the future. No matter what they saw, it was doom and gloom, the prophets of doom for Esau Edom, man. You know?
I was looking at you.
I got one, brothers, real quick. I know.
Yeah, bro.
Man,
Just
they're
check
trying
it
to, they got their token over there, man. They got their fucking token, man.
That's a heathen.
That's a clown.
This guy's a clown, man. This is Habakkuk 2:1. I will stand upon my watch and set me upon the tower, and will watch to see what he will say unto me, and what I shall answer when I am reproved. And that's the prophets out here standing on the highways and byways. You know, it says on a tower because we have an elevated point of view, a bird's eye view of the situation worldwide, and we're reporting on it. Verse 2, and if you brothers want to say something, interrupt any time. Verse 2, and the Lord Yahawah answered me and said, write the vision and make it plain upon tables, that he may run that readeth it. For the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come. It will not tarry.
Okay? So we are obeying the commandment to the Lord. Once we understand the Bible, Baba Kushal, bro, can you bring 2nd Ezra 9, chapter 9, and bro, Deuteronomy 30, I think it's 11, bro. Because the curse is gonna flip now. Okay? We can see it. Why? Because their kingdom is cracking. Okay? Hey, listen up. Their kingdom is start burning. Okay? Little by little. Some other areas. Because Esau was ruling by the dominion of the economies of the world.
Yeah.
Okay? By using United States as a sword. Anyone that didn't allow the elites their currency, where they are, they got killed. Their people get destroyed.
Yeah, the central banks.
Yes. So we see that they're falling down, because we know there's these prophecies. It's World War III. All right. And the Haragma. Those are major prophecies, man, that we're waiting for. Now the shortage of food is coming. What you gonna do, man? Trusting in Donald Trump?
Oh,
He was saying that he was gonna give $2,000, and then he acted stupid once when he got asked about the money.
When did I say that?
Yeah.
That's what he said. What? I said that? When did I say that? Oh, man. Did you see the one with the Japanese Prime Minister? Yeah, well, we know you guys like surprises, Pearl Harbor. It's like everybody is like, oh.
She
That's
was like,
funny as hell, man. Yeah. That's stupid, man. Hey,
that's
man.
stupid, man. That guy is
It's
stupid.
a joke, man, and it's funny because it just shows you the laughing stock that Babylon the Great is in right now, man. Saw it?
You said 2nd Ezra 9 and 9? Okay. This is 2nd Ezra chapter 9 and verse 9.
No, Salaki, start from 1.
Start from 1. Yeah, go. 2nd Ezra chapter 9 and beginning at verse 1. He answered me then and said, measure thou the time diligently in itself. And when thou seest part of the signs pass, which I have told thee before, then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made.
See, that's he's telling us to watch, diligent.
Yeah.
Okay, because we were going to be able to see when he was he was going to start doing what he says, when he said to his prophets. That's why the brother read that, hey, I was standing my watch. Right?
He said, and make it plain.
Yes.
When it says, measure thou the times, that's you judging the times with the Bible. This is your measuring stick. And the word measure, if you go back to it, when it's talking about in the scriptures, for the most part, it's talking about judging a situation. Measuring. You're judging. I'm gonna measure you up, man. You know, you're judging up. So we're judging what's going on in the world. Okay, World War III, check. The nations come, you know, not in full-blown nuclear sense, but the the nations being gathered. You know, they say that there's over 20 nations right now involved in the war in Iran. Okay, check the infrastructure of the MOTB. We got tap to pay everywhere. You know, the days of Noah, like the brother mentioned to me, some of the first couple of things he said when I walked up to camp, man. We living in the days of Noah, la la land, man. So as you can see, we're looking at things through a spiritual lens and that bird's eye view, like we were saying from the tower, looking down and judging the situation that's going on. That's why we are so confident coming out here in the things that we say that we say.
If we can rely on the scriptures, man, okay? Most in everything what we speak, okay?
Yeah.
It's about prophecy. So the Lord has given us the understanding. This is not for everyone, okay? It's only a few, many are being called, but few are being chosen, okay? So yes, before we start camp, there was a man that is standing here and he say, I agree, but not all, but I agree. More what you guys say. So we can see, man, many are being called, but they're not being chosen.
And at the end, he said he joined the military and he was waiting to go to boot camp.
Yeah.
And he had the audacity to say, you guys be safe.
Yeah.
Nigga, you be safe. Man, we got the Lord. What do you got? The M16, see if that shit don't jam, we're full of sand, and you're shaking because you see all these fearless Iranian and Chinese troops bayonet charging your ass, some crazy stuff like that, man. War is coming, man. To the streets of Babylon the Great, to the ground invasion over there in Iran. Don't think that you're just gonna be able to walk the streets freely, man. When there's no gas, when there's no food, y'all people don't watch movies or something? You never seen The Walking Dead? You know what people do? These women get taken advantage of. Kids get bartered. Kids and the elderly, they're the most vulnerable to when societies go through turmoil like that. But you see people turning a blind eye to what's going on to other parts of the world, because as long as it's not happening here in Babylon the Great, it's okay, man. And that's why it's gonna sneak up on you damn Americans, man. Because everybody's in La La Land till you're not. Everybody's in La La Land till it's 2020. They're saying that there's some dis-ease on the news, and all the shelves were stripped bare. You know, all the canned goods gone, the dried food gone. Grocery stores, they say, used to have only 3 days of food left in the grocery stores. I wouldn't even give them 1 or 2 if somebody goes for a run. Not even to mention the banks not having even physical, tangible cash you can hold in your hand if everybody decided to pull out their money. So the system is rigged to fail.
Keep going, brother.
Going now?
Yeah.
2nd Ezra chapter 9 and verse 3. Therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people and the world, then shalt thou well understand that the Most High spake of those things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning.
Okay, so we already know that's about prophecy. That's something that is happening around the earth, different risings of the people, man. Okay, it is in, and you start hearing more and more about civil war here in America, because most of the people, they're not happy how the inflation is going up. When they got promised, these people got promised there was going to be no more war.
Yeah.
They got promised the price of the food, it was going to go low, right? They were promised that it was going to be America first, okay? The more infrastructure, repairing and building.
Yeah.
And none of that is being done. What is being done, that your son's going to be sent to the Middle East.
That's right.
to get a coffee
No.
or a plastic bag, man.
Or to be one with the ground.
Yeah, or to be
Melted.
loose on the sea, deep in the waters and in the shorts. They're gonna end in the shorts, eaten by beasts or whatever. But that's what you get. But that's a judgment from the Lord, and we knew it, man.
Yeah, we
Because
did.
our apostles, they've been talking about.
That's right.
They've been talking about
Yeah.
how this World War III was going to be played.
Yep.
That the small hats, they were going to be the ones that pull America to do it. And everybody knows that that's what it happens, man.
Everybody knows, man.
It happens already. So now you have to give your life for those small hats that they don't
Yeah.
care about you.
Yeah, man, look how quickly these people forgot about the files. Our politicians eat babies and, you know, grape little girls and grape little boys, and you know what? We already knew that. Hollywood was always weird. Come on, man, you people sticking your head in the sand.
There's a lot of problems on the airports now.
Yeah,
The
TSA.
lines, there's fucking like never before, man. They're mad.
Yeah.
Donald Trump says that he was gonna go and send ICE so he
Yeah.
can take control.
If you gotta travel, brothers, drive, man. Don't fly, man. Drive.
And, hey, man, America become a joke to the nations
Yeah.
because NATO is like, okay, you don't need us, right?
Yeah.
And then the next day, why don't you go with me
Yeah.
to open the Stretch of Hormuz?
Uh,
Oh, I thought you don't need us.
yeah.
And then, hey, come on, Japan, help us.
Oh, hell.
And they want to say, oh, Pearl Harbor, right?
Yeah, yeah.
You're surprised. You're big and surprised.
Man.
Hey, those nations gonna join against America later on, man.
And they already seen that you're stripping defenses from their area. They saw that the Patriot missile systems that were being removed from South Korea and being over there to defend the Little Hats land. So your allies know where your allegiance lies. Even though
Yeah,
you say your
they
friends,
lie.
Esau, Edom, and the elite are only set up to protect their own interests, and starting with their nation, which is Amalek. Small hats with a big ass nose, man. Those people over there with skin cancer. Those people over there with the hands that go like this every time they see some quarters fall on the floor, man.
The brother Ayala mentioned that the other day that the rest of the Edomites, they're mad because the Amalekites, which is the head tribe of the nation of Edom, they're not sharing the blessing
Yeah.
to the what is the uses eaters?
Uses
Or
eaters,
uses,
yeah.
right? So they're not sharing
Yeah.
the blessing with the less Edomites, man.
Yeah, they give you goy slop.
Yeah.
Hey, go eat your
They
goy
treat you
slop.
as a goy.
Oh
Man.
man, that's cattle, man. If you don't know,
That's
They
why
look-
they give you a McDonald's food,
yeah,
man.
yeah. Human burgers. There's not even enough cows to
the
serve.
world,
They
yeah.
say 70. They say something like 70 million hamburgers are produced a day. Something in the millions worldwide. McDonald's. Brother, they didn't want to quote me. Look up how many hamburgers are made by McDonald's, man. There's not that much meat in the world, man. But there's a lot of missing people every
Yeah,
year.
yeah.
Like I'll say like
Nobody cares about.
like 400 to 600,000 people that go missing just in this country alone. What's the number
I
out?
got it, bro. So this is off the Google AI. McDonald's sells an estimated 6.5 million
Okay.
hamburgers
Yeah, 6.5.
every day worldwide,
Yeah, it is in the
Every
millions.
day.
which,
like,
which averages to roughly 75 burgers per second.
damn.
Annually, this totals over 2.36 billion burgers,
Holy
with
shit.
the company serving over 63 million customers daily across more than 41,800 locations.
It's,
That's not that many cows.
that's not sustainable, man. And they're selling you quarter pounders, half pounders, man. That's a lot of meat. That's not like, you know. So,
Yeah,
man. Well,
It's not accurate, man.
yeah, and you can see, you know, not to go off top, but even Dr. Finkelstein, Mr. Finkelstein said we take the hamburgers and we feed them the hamburgers and the
Yeah.
sausages and,
Yeah.
and we tell you these things, but you don't believe us. You know, he's like his damn Amalek accent. Oh, if you brothers want to
Read
finish
the- We're
Deuteronomy.
done over there, brother.
Keep going down.
No, we're done. That one. Read this, brother.
Ah.
The Deuteronomy 20, 30 and 7 from Akusha.
This is Deuteronomy 30 and verse 7. It says, and the Lord Yahawah, thy power will put all these curses upon thine enemies, and on them that hate thee, which persecuted thee.
Okay, the curses start flipping because the world and the division of these people is already on. The destruction of this kingdom and the division of the people, like NATO in America, their marriage is coming to an end. Okay, Democrats and Republicans, they're about to shoot each other.
Yeah, man.
Okay, so yes, the curses, because you nations were so happy because the brothers from South and North Kingdom and each other also in inside those two kingdoms, we were killing each other.
Yeah.
So
No
you were
problem.
happy,
No
right?
problem.
But now we see Iran getting bombs, we see Arabs getting bombs, and we just, you know, drinking our drinks and eating our popcorns, man.
Yeah, man.
Watching prophecy coming fulfilled. Because that's what the Lord promised to them. Destruction for all the evil they have done to us, man.
That's the curses, man. That's everything. And one of the main things that, one of the main things is you judge a nation based on their women. Man, the so-called white women are acting just like the so-called nigger woman, man. Leaving their man, putting their man on child support, you know, doing all these things. And the majority of white women, really, they're procreating with a minority, so-called. For the first time ever, they say in 2026 that more minority babies were born than white babies in Babylon the Great. Which makes no sense, because if we're 13% of the population, you know, I mean, sorry, that's what they call the black population is 13%. Why are all these other minorities getting your women, man? So the point being is that they don't want your little pinky thing anymore, man. So and the curses of you catching hell just like a nigga, man. You're just like us, man. You got money problems. You got probation problems, just like the so-called Negro, Latino, Native American, man. So you worried about getting pulled over just like a damn you know, someone that shouldn't even be driving because they got no license, man. Esau's suffering the same things.
Go ahead, brother.
I'm backing up. But it's based on what the brother said about they were happy. And stop me whenever, because I got a few.
Yeah.
This is Jeremiah. This is Jeremiah chapter 50. I'm going to begin at verse 9. For lo, I will raise and cause to come up against Babylon an assembly of great nations from the north country, and they shall set themselves in array against her. From thence she shall be taken. Their arrows shall be as a mighty expert man. None shall return in vain.
Iran just shoot an island where United States and UK, they have storage missiles,
It's a good one, huh?
and they already reached the island. Not all of the I think they sent 3 missiles, but none of them reach it. But they already know they got the power to reach. They're saying, I watched an article saying 2,500 kilometers, and another one saying 4,000. So, you know, it's just, we can go and watch it and see how far that island is. But the point is, America was thinking that Iran only have a month of power to reach, right? But every time he go increasing, how far he can reach, and so America is backing up.
And I'll say this, just this week, for the first time in history, Iran has shot down an F-35.
Yes.
And before,
it's 3 now.
3?
Yes.
Allah Yahawashi.
That's what they say. It's 3 now.
That's what, hey man, hey. So that's happening because before Babylon the Great was flying their stealth jets through everybody's airspace, knowing that no one else had any capabilities to shoot it down, man. Well, as you can see, Esau not as proud as he was.
China gave the Iranians the technology, bro.
Yep. Oh yeah.
And they
Russia too.
Yes. They're so like, hey, man, we're living in a very beautiful times, man. Call Allah, Yahawah, bahasham, because what does the scripture say? That it's a blessing to see your enemies going down.
Yes, it is.
Right?
I
right?
was holding it. I was holding it. Let me finish this.
Okay, go on, brother.
This is Jeremiah 50 and verse 10. And Chaldea shall be a spoil. All that spoil her shall be satisfied, saith Yahawah. Here's the point I wanted. Verse 11. Because ye were glad, because ye rejoiced, O ye destroyers of mine inheritance, because ye are grown fat as the heifer at grass and bellows at bulls. Your mother shall be sore confounded.
And that's talking about UK, you know, the British Empire, which is the mother of what birthed America through the colonial states.
No, you're good, brother. She that bare you shall be ashamed. Behold, the hindermost of the nations shall be a wilderness, a dry land, and a desert.
That's right.
Desert. After World War III, hey, where was Boise, Idaho?
Yeah, where's that?
Fuck, I don't know,
Where's
man.
the city of trees?
Yeah, where's the city of trees? Yeah, where is it at? It's gone.
Yeah.
Nobody's gonna be able to say, oh, right there. All right. So yeah, we know by faith that we're gonna see the destruction of America, man. We know, man, 100%. I told the brothers
Believe
here,
that, man.
we're gonna see the increasing of living,
Yeah.
rent, food, services, okay, and the gasoline. But I told them, like, don't worry, man, just keep paying, okay? Get your money right, spend your money right, and keep paying it until we're capable to do it. And then, because we know it was coming, man, we know this was coming.
We ain't gonna be man, all that hard work I put
Yes.
in. Come on, man.
No,
I
man.
had $4,000 cash saved up, man. We're not gonna be like that because we've been preparing our spirit for this.
It's like myself, I'm coming from when I was a kid, I didn't have things like, like people used to have, like a normal kid in America. So I know what I need to do to go a day with a small amount of food. So I'm okay with it because I already know how it feels. All right. So I'm like, okay, I just had to do what I know. Okay. But these people, man, they're gonna lose it because they work so hard for their houses, their car, their career, everything.
And they're used to convenience. They're used to comfort. Man, I'll say this. I have a confession to make. I use DoorDash sometimes, brothers. No, I'm just joking. But I'm just saying the convenience, man. Because when you want to drink, man, you're hungry. Let's say, like, I use it a lot, mainly, like, not a lot, like, it's like once every other week, man. Just try not to hit it every week. But it's like when you're out, like, let's say you're drinking, you're sipping at the house, you don't want to drive anywhere because you already been drinking. That's when I like to order it, man. You know, like, you're like, damn, this and that, which you don't usually order out food, whatever, but you know. Jay gets some stuff, man. It's nice, man. But the convenience of people completely, what's the word, brother? It's like completely diving into that type of lifestyle of constantly having everything at your demand, constantly going to the store and expecting that item to be there, constantly going up to the gas station and not seeing a bag over it. Because I've been going to the same gas station for a minute, and these last couple weeks they put yellow bags over the handles when it's completely empty.
Yeah.
Because and it's only like it was the ethanol free one, because I don't know how much they order, and maybe people have just been buying it out and they didn't get a truck for a couple days. But the point being is, I used to never see no bags over handles before saying out of service, man. It's not out of service, it's because they ran out, man.
Different places they're running out of gas.
Have you seen those bags at all? I used to never see those shits, man.
I saw that.
You know, maybe a pump break down, but it's usually the whole thing.
I think it's for that reason.
You know, but
broke down. But man, that's what it is, brothers.
Yeah.
So we always pray, right? We curse this place, right? Bless our elders, the apostles and elders, their families, and the election. The rest, hey, they can go, man. So the world is ending. Why? Because the Lord pulled us out from this world to serve Him, to get ready to see the collapse of this world. So this world is not our world. We have to put that in our head, man. That this is not our world, like the brother said. This, we're gonna be okay because we see their kingdom is falling. It's not our kingdom, man. It's their kingdom. Okay? And that's one of the things that is stuck in my head. Like, I know things getting, spicy. But hey, the Spirit comes, lift me up when I go like, yeah, that's the only way it needs to be so we can get out of here. Okay? That's what has been in the scripts.
You got something, brother? Go ahead.
Because we fall back on the examples that our ancestors left us, man. We know what happened in the time of Maccabees and the great persecution. We know what happened in 70 AD when our enemies encompassed around us. We know what happened in the great diaspora when we were scattered to the four corners. We know what happened after the Assyrian captivity, how we left over here, man. But the point being is that we have the scriptures to give us faith and the examples that our ancestors have went through, even 2nd Maccabees chapter 7 with the 7 sons and the mother. But I wanted to bring this out in 1st Maccabees chapter 1, and then I got a couple in 1st Maccabees chapter 2 to show you that Esau Edom has tried his world dominance before. His new world order, everybody come together as one before. This is 1st Maccabees, this is in the Apocrypha. 1st Maccabees 1 and verse 41. Moreover, King Antiochus wrote to his whole kingdom that all should be one people, and every one should leave his laws. So all the heathen agreed according to the commandment of the king. Yea, many of the Israelites consented to his religion and sacrificed unto idols and profaned the Sabbath. And if you know the history of the Grecians, that's how we became Gentiles. That's where you get the saying there's neither Jew nor Greek. That's because the Israelites were calling themselves Greeks, Grecians, Romans. Even Paul said that he was Roman, man. So fast forward to what are we gonna do when this order comes out in this modern time? This is first Maccabees chapter 2 and verse 19. Then Mattathias answered and spake with a loud voice, though all the nations that are under the king's dominion obey him, and fall away every one from the religion of their fathers, and give consent to his commandments, yet will I and my sons and my brethren walk in the consent of our fathers. It says, Yahawah forbid that we should forsake the law and the ordinances. We will not hearken to the king's words to go from our religion either on the right hand or the left. Now, when that's the point. So we ain't going to the left or to the right. Yep. Hey, I have this highlighted, so I'm just going to bring it out for edification's sake, because this is great history, man. This is the zeal that our ancestors had for doing the right thing, man. This is 1 Maccabees chapter 2 and 23. Now when he had left speaking these words, there came one of the Jews in sight of all to sacrifice on the altar, which was at Modin, according to the king's commandment. So he went to sacrifice to a demon, another god, on our altar. So you're having a sacred altar, and they're sacrificing to their god on a sacred altar. This is verse 24. Which thing, when Mattathias saw, he was inflamed with zeal, and his reins trembled. Salakia. Neither could he forbear to show his anger according to judgment, wherefore he ran and slew him upon the altar. Man, the zeal came up, he unalived that Jake. Salakia. Verse 25. Also the king's commissioner who compelled men to sacrifice, he killed at that time, and the altar he pulled down. Thus dealt he zealously for the law of the Most High, like as Phinehas did unto Zambri, the son of Salom. So, hey man, the point being is that no matter what, the laws on the books in writing came down from the king saying you can't do this or can't do that. We stuck with the laws, statutes, and commandments and the faith that Yahawah bahasham Yahawashi is going to come to rescue us.
The Lord always give a remnant to serve Him. So it's been always, even in slavery, that the Spirit in some men, it was to serve the Lord. But to serve Him right, He sent the Spirit now, and that Spirit is on us. Because we can say that because we understand the Bible, and we are here by faith, and not because we need money from you. Okay? We know what's coming. We're telling you according to the scriptures. And we're not looking for money, man, because we fear Yahawah bahasham Yahawashi.
Back up what the brothers read. This is Joshua 24, beginning at verse 14. Now therefore, fear the Lord Yahawah bahasham Yahawashi, and serve Him in sincerity and in truth, and put away the gods which your fathers served on the other side of the flood and in Egypt, and serve ye Yahawah. Here's the point. And if it seem evil unto you to serve Yahawah bahasham Yahawashi, choose you this day whom ye will serve, whether the gods which your fathers served that were on the other side of the flood, or the gods of the Amorites, in whose land ye dwell. But as for me and my house, we will serve Yahawah bahasham Yahawashi. You got that too?
That's right. That choice is coming.
So hey, you got it there. But as Samuel was dedicated to the Lord even before he been born and even
he conceived.
He already be in the spiritual world like, okay, you're gonna go because you're gonna be mine because this lady or this woman already promised you to me. So go on.
Yeah. And that's always been a special spirit in the heavens.
And Jeremiah is the same.
Yeah, that's why it says even if Moses and Samuel stand before me,
Yeah.
I will not with this people, roughly paraphrasing.
And then Moses, I think when he was 48, 80 years old, when he went to see the fire bush,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And Moses was saying, like, me,
Yeah.
who I am, to go to Pharaoh and take Israel. All right, he don't want to go, man.
No.
But it's not about men to serve the Lord because He choose us. Now I'm gonna say that again.
Yeah.
It's many being called, but few being chosen, man.
That's crazy.
So the Lord is the one that He choose. Like He told His disciples, "Do not choose me, I choose you."
Right.
That's why go and give fruit, something like that, man. Just paraphrasing that. All right. But I was going to read that scripture that the brother read, and he already read that scripture because it is beautiful, man. That now the Lord is the one that is letting this light come in this darkness. Okay, this is the true light. Okay, we talk about Yahawashi. He is the true light. Okay, no more lies, man.
Oh, I got that out. This is here. Let me make sure I'm on the right one. This is 7, 8. This is Isaiah 8:20. To the law and to the testimony, if they speak not according to this word, it is because there is no light in them. So just back up what the brother was saying. Hey man, there's only one group of people with the truth. And call halal Yahawah bahasham Yahawashi. We can come out here week in and week out, and Lord willing, we be chosen because we've been called. That's why we're out here. There's men that have been on the highways and byways for years, but they didn't get chosen because they fell out for this or for that. They got disgruntled, they got offended, they didn't want to give up their earthly benefits to do a living sacrifice. They had to say no to too many parties when they were, too social of a person. I'm a social butterfly, but nah, man. You got to fall back in this world to be able to lock in the spirit to move correct, man. You don't need to be going to these events like birthday parties, Thanksgiving, all those worldly celebrations, man, because that's just going to take the spirit away from you by being around a bunch of those demons, man. Those spirits are going to hop on you by just entertaining those people because they got those spirits on them, man. That's why a lot of brothers, man, we're anti-social, social butterflies, man. A lot of brothers, know how to talk with people. We're not, groupies in the world. We have friends. We go here, we go there. We had a big circle, man. But when we came into this truth, man, whoop, got really small, man. And it got small, but it got what do they say? Quality over quantity, man. The brethren that we have amongst us, man, they're not scheming on your woman. They're not trying to look at you. They're not, oh, brother, you wore that last week. You wore that jacket last week, man. There's none of that. But if you got friends in the world, they're going to be like, bro, we went out last weekend. You wore that shirt last week. I can't, come on, man. I'm bringing the same girl with me. She's going to think you're a bum or some stupid shit like that, man. We're not moving like that in the world. Nor do we care about anything that is a benefit to this world, man. Because really, we catching hell every day just like the people in the world, man. Don't think that we get home and it's all zen and we walk in and, you know, everything's all perfect, man. Hey, I'll tell you what, the Lord does have a special hedge around us. Because I'll tell you the same thing that you people going through, we suffer in a different way, man. But we're not putting ourselves out there to become easy targets like you people that are gonna be so surprised when shit really hits the fan, when things get bad, when things get chaotic, man. Because we've, you know, completely locked in the spirit to the best of our ability, keeping that oil in our lamp, constantly, you know, looking at the things from a spiritual point of view, and not just how we feel, think, our experiences in the world, man. No, we filter everything through the scriptures, and that's why we move the way we move.
Okay, I want to read this scripture right here, which is Matthew 5 and 4, and 14. Yet are the light of the world. A city that is set on a hill cannot be hid. Okay, so talking about we're here, man, being honest, being truth, using the scriptures to explain what's going on in the world and explaining what we're saying. Okay, according filtrating everything with the scriptures, like the brothers say. So it's already years that we've been here, and it's not. We feel happy because things coming to pass on what we spoke years ago, man.
Yeah.
All right, it's already here. So it's not make you feel good because these people that watch us before, right? They laugh about us. Now their smile is gone.
Yeah.
They're not smiling no more, man. Okay? Because they know. And we're clean, man. Our hands are clean because we never asked them for money. The Lord is the one that sustains us.
And we're telling him the correct message, man. So we got no blood on our hands because we've been doing, you know, what we're supposed to the best of our ability by bringing out this message. You know, there's some brothers that go out midweek camp, but we come out every week, man, on the highways and byways. All the brothers in this area that believe the same that we do, we come together. Even though there's just 3 of us, we come out diligently, man. You know, and these brothers doing lessons on his own. You know, so we're doing everything that we can to get the blood off our hands and tell you what's coming.
Continue. 15. Neither do men light the candle and put it under a bowl, but on a candlestick, and it giveth light unto all that are in the house. Okay? So basically you have to teach this truth. Okay? You're not gonna go and say like, oh man, I'm afraid and la 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 la. No. You need to, once you know this is the truth, you need to start teaching this truth. Increasing your talent.
Yeah.
The Lord bless some brothers with 5 talents, 2 talents. Don't be the man that has 1 talent and hide it, the talent, right? Which means he never did nothing. He never shared this truth. He wasn't warning the people. All right? And then what's gonna happen to you, man? You're gonna be the example of that parable that the Lord is gonna destroy you because you never put the talent to work. No, we are here, man, because we are afraid of Yahawah, bahasham, judgment. Okay, we are a hopeful elect. We never say, oh, I'm already saved. No, because we deal daily with those demons, man, on our head. You know, used to, oh, you're not part of the elect. why you keep doing this, man?
Yeah, no matter what you
Yeah.
do, Esau's coming for your house anyway.
Ah.
You need a divine intervention. You're like, I was had that.
bro.
I had to review
Bro,
that thought
exactly,
the other
bro.
day. I was all thinking of my house getting ran into. I was like, fuck that shit. I was like,
Thing at work, I was like,
the
yeah,
Lord-
why you doing this? Like,
Yeah.
it's everything that is like, it's always the same thing. It's like, I was like,
Bro, it
what
was
is
a
this
weird
fucking
shit.
thought that I have, man?
And it was not like you were even meditating on it before. You were having a good day, and that thought comes in here like, what am I worried about? I was like,
Then I start calling the scriptures, man. Hey, like, hey, Lord, you promised this. Everything what it happens, everything that all the events of the past is to we go and read the Bible and understand all your power. That's what this is about. So this spirit that is not putting doubts on me, hey, you take care of it.
I had to, you had to
bro.
start praying immediately.
Yeah,
when
bro,
you start
right
getting those
away.
thoughts, because
Right
then
away, man.
that's literally what I was like, man, I don't know why.
That's
I was
a
like,
fight,
you know what?
dog.
I don't know why I'm thinking about this. I gotta start praying, man. You know, I was like, man, hell no, man. Because really, fear is a demon, man. Because if you know exactly what's going on right now, no, man. No. That's not even attractive. Where's the mystery?
You can
But-
see the Semita.
Yeah, it's probably been a part of don't even know this shit right
The whole team.
Yeah.
Yeah, bro. The more promiscuous they dress, they feel like they're more high esteem or
Yeah.
value
Because they
for a man. They think, man.
they think whatever they see the attention that other women are getting by getting that looks, man. But at the end of the day, no man of any value is gonna want a woman like that, man, bro.
Yeah,
It's sad, bro.
showing half of the
Have the ass.
cheeks.
Thank God it was just a group of friends of the girls, man. But you see that shit walking around with like a man and his woman, man. Like police your fucking woman, man. No one wants to see that shit. But I got one. This is Baruch 3:8. Yeah. Baruch 3:8. It says, "Behold, we are yet this day in our captivity, where thou hast scattered us for a reproach and a curse, and to be subject to payments according to all the iniquities of our fathers, which departed from the Lord Yahawah bahasham Yahawashi, our power." So hey man, there's a reason why you're stuck paying taxes. There's a reason why your check gets taxed before you get it, and then when you pay the money that was already taxed, you're getting taxed even more. And then at the end of the year, if you didn't pay enough taxes, hey man, you better be sending a check to the government before April 1st, man. And that's why
Hey, bro.
man.
Sometimes I'm at work, brothers, and it's a heavy, like a hard work to do, but it needs to be done. There's help is not going to come from nowhere. It's part of my position to finish that job. Sometimes it's so heavy, man, that when I'm doing it, I'm just going like, hey, Lord, Yahawah, I feel, man, I go like, fuck. Then I start thinking like, what I'm gonna curse my work.
Yeah, no.
So what I'm starting doing, I'm like, oh, fuck these fucking idols, man. But fuck these fucking idols, man. Fuck those fucking idols. Because idolatry, man, is what make us fall from being next to the Lord.
Yeah.
That's why He has scattered us among these nations to be a what? A servant. All right. So it's because our fault, because those stupid idols, man, that we worship before, and everybody that's keep doing it today, their curses is gonna steal in them.
What was the first thing we did when Moses took too long
Yes.
on Mount Sinai, man? We built an idol. We built an idol. It's the first thing we did, man. We built a golden calf. Stupid shit, man. Just because Jake needed something to believe in, man. He had no faith. They needed to see something. They needed to see physically something with their eyes, because Moses was out of sight for a while, man. I believe it was like a week. Was it? No,
40 days.
40, yeah, it was 40
40
times.
days,
They
40
said, oh,
nights.
Moses is dead.
Yeah,
Nah,
what
man,
is that Moses?
He was getting
Take you out of
downloaded,
Egypt.
man. He was getting downloaded with everything.
Moses received everything from Genesis to the returning
all
of
the way.
Yahawashi, man.
Yeah, because that's where the law came from. It's pre-flood, man. It's the creation of earth. The law was established, man, but it wasn't written down. It had to be written down. That's why it says Moses is the lawgiver, which wrote the first 5 books of the Bible.
And Moses is the only one from the nation of Israel, besides Yahawashi, that are able to really see the Lord. Like, because the Lord said, like, this is the only one that is going to be talking like it's straight, not in parables, not proverbs. It's straight.
As unto the
Red,
prophets.
blue, black, white, everything, man.
I know what scripture you're
But to
talking
the
about.
prophets, Daniel was like, what does that mean, Lord? Ezra was like, what does that mean? John was like, what does this mean? Yeah, everything. What does this mean? No, but Moses, you don't need to ask none of that. He was, oh, okay. Plain. Go ahead, brother.
This is Numbers 12 and 8. With him will I speak mouth to mouth, even apparently, and not in dark speeches. And the similitude of the Lord Yahawah shall he behold. Wherefore then were ye not afraid to speak against my servant Moses?
Because he protects Moses. Everybody that come against Moses, they got punished, right? Some were killed. His sister got leprosy.
Miriam.
Miriam got leprosy because they, man.
Talking shit that he married a Egyptian woman, and she had that big sister energy thinking she can say something to Moses, and then even Aaron got reprimanded for that too.
What's an Egyptian? What's a Midianite?
Midianite?
Yeah, Midianite. I think so. But hey, he got married with other nationality,
a nation outside.
And amen. The Lord don't allow nobody to come against Moses because he was a good servant. Okay.
This is not a dog. Not a dog shall speak. And we're gonna get that same, I guess you could say, honor. This is Exodus 11 and 7. But against any of the children of Israel shall not a dog move his tongue against man or beast, that ye may know how the Lord Yahawah doth put a difference between the Egyptians and Israel. So again, there is going to be a plain difference. Like that guy's doing witchcraft over there. That's a magician. Look at the top hat. Yeah, man. So the heathen and the Israelites, the chosen and unchosen, God's chosen people, and you sons of men, and then the sons of the wicked. You know, is all going to be put out there in the open. So there's going to be no debate on who has the truth. And we're at about 8 minutes right now. Want to switch to Spanish?
I'm going to read this. Bro. I was wanted to see because the Samaritan woman was talking when she was talking with the Lord. She was like, "Oh, we're supposed to worship the Lord here, but you say that in Jerusalem is the place to worship." But look, now we know it's a spiritual. It's a spiritual worship to the Lord. He always wanted that. Now with idols, because the brother read the once we got out of Egypt, 40 days, like when we got to the mountain and Moses went to get the law, Israel start making a cow to worship because they need something to see, man. But the true worshipers are in the spirit. You got one verse?
No, I was just
It's
you just said something. I was just thinking that's what you were
John.
okay.
I'm gonna read from what is it? The New Translation, no, King James, man, because I don't see much. What?
Is he bugging out?
Who's that?
I don't know. It was a guy.
The magician?
The guy at the police station was talking shit, but I think he was thinking that we were subduing the streets.
You got a question?
Wait, I have a question.
So what's your question?
Why do you think Jesus Christ is the devil?
We don't think that Jesus Christ is the devil. We believe that the image and the false name that they call him, which is the letter J is the most recent letter added to the alphabet. So when you call something Jesus, you're actually talking about something completely different than the actual name of the Messiah that's written about in the scriptures. Because this is a product of white supremacy, colonization, and what's the word?
Iconoclasm.
Iconoclasm. Iconoclasm means taking somebody else's images and putting yours. So what they did, if you guys ever seen the statues of like the Sphinx in Egypt, they knocked all the noses off.
Yeah.
Because they will white people will whitewash history every chance that they get.
Yeah.
So that they can be in power, so that they can control the story, the narrative, just like you see them controlling the news. Well, just think of the same way, but ancient times. And
Basically, they erase history from a ruler class, and they put their images to be that ruler class.
Yeah.
That's what they did. So by them doing this, they're saying that they are the top of the races of humanity.
Yeah.
But it's not the truth. All right? The Bible says that is the truth. And we're not saying that Jesus Christ is the devil. First and foremost, you need to understand the word devil. You know? Do you guys know what devil means?
The devils. Go ahead.
The devil. Do you guys know what devil means?
The devil means, straight to the point, it means just deceiver.
Deceiver.
And when you
liar.
see Satan, it just means adversary.
Yeah.
It's not just, that's actual definition. Like you look up definitions of words, that's what it means. So when we say devil, it's deceiver. This man deceived the world.
So what is that image? That image is a deception. It means it's a lie, according to the Bible.
Have you guys heard of the time the Renaissance? The Renaissance?
Yeah.
Well, that's where that image came from. Because the word Renaissance means rebirth.
Yeah.
Where they say the Dark Ages. Well, the Dark Ages weren't dark because there was nothing going on in Europe. The Dark Ages means that it was the Moors that were ruling Europe. It's right behind that sign. I put it by there. But the images in Europe, even you can look up
the dark ages
the
that
Russian,
they hide.
yeah, the Russian Orthodox churches, they still use a lot of these images. But even King James, you guys know the King James Bible?
Yeah.
The King James was actually a black man, so-called. And if you see his image right here, that's actually King James. So the history of what they taught you, and really the so-called white man didn't start being, let's say, sophisticated and stuff like that till the Renaissance, because before that he was called the wild man. The wild man,
Caveman.
or the caveman, because scriptures say that he was brought down to a low level, so that for a time period, the Israelites, which are the so-called dark races, which are the Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, there's two major time periods of the Roman Empire. You had the Roman Empire, then you had the Holy Roman Empire. And that the Holy Roman Empire was all run by so-called black
This is
emperors.
the Holy Roman Empire.
Yeah,
This is the times.
And
of
the Holy Roman,
Empire.
yeah, and the Holy Roman Empire ultimately came into Europe, and then that's where you get countries like France, England, but those are all started by so-called black men. But for them to push the narrative that they are the master race, they had to make themselves in the image of God. They had to say that they wrote the Bible, and then they took this Bible and went and colonized all the lands in the name of making these savages, you know, like learn manners or something like that. Whatever they said the savages didn't have. Which really, if you guys look into the history, I didn't bring the book today, but it's called The American Holocaust. And we actually have a history of our people going through more genocide than those little small tops over
I
there in
got
the
this
land. of
book,
Israel. Yeah.
Origin of the American Indians, the origin.
Yeah, origin.
So this book talks about that the people here are descendants of the 10 tribes of the nation of Israel.
That's why they wanted to
And
conquer this land so
This one
much.
too.
Yeah.
Okay? This book, when this book came to existence, that's when the Europeans start fighting to the Spaniards
Yeah.
to take their kingdom down, because the atrocities they were committing to the people of this land. They were talking to the Europeans over there, and they were like, "Why you doing that to them?" So these men were the ones that take all the atrocities to Europe. That's why the Portuguese, they conquer Brazil different way
Yeah.
than the Spaniards, and the Englands, they conquer this land different, with more evil. The UK people, they're more evil than the Portuguese. They conquered that land differently. The Spaniards differently, because when the Spaniards came, all those men, they were able to ride on horses. But here in America, man,
And it was
when the civil rights came to exist, when we got some freedom.
it was part of that they have higher weapons, but our numbers went down because they brought a plague. They brought smallpox. They brought the bubonic plague. Because if you look at the sanitary living in Europe at the time compared to here, we had aqueducts. We were filtering our water. We bathed 2 times a day. We had teeth. We had dentists. We had surgery. We had all that. When in Europe they were dyeing their garments in feces. That brown brown cloak that you see. So a lot of that history is taken down. Like the so-called white man is a big and great, and he did all this stuff. When all the inventions came from people of color, even the stoplights, radios, TVs. You know, this technology and this iPad was created by, literally, if you go back to who started the patents, was a black man. The man who started the color television was actually a Mexican. But we always say the only thing the white man created was the patent office. You know, because even the cotton gin, you guys remember learning about that? That was created by a slave, but the slave owner was able to get his patent. This is for you, Jake, man. This is for you, Jake. Come on, man. This is Judah, man. Y'all Judah, come on. Yeah, you got time? Hey, man, you're going to wish you did.
You'll get enough time later.
You're going to get some time with him.
Watch this,
There's
right?
another brother on
This dollar.
Yeah.
Look, the pyramid.
Yep, the first captivity,
Okay.
the last captivity.
So you guys need to understand that this pyramid or the writing is in what is it?
Latin.
Latin.
Yep.
And Egyptian
Yep.
symbol. So there is 2 things: Roman Empire
Yep.
and in Egypt
Yep.
slavery. So the Romans are the ones that are ruling today, because the Romans are the so-called white people today are descendants of the Roman, and the Romans go back to Edom. Okay?
This is a roadmap in the scriptures of talking about the main worldwide powers that are going to run the world. So you have the head of gold, which are the Babylonian Empire. That's where you see like the Ishtar gates. Anyways, but this is the oldest one. This is the Medo-Persian Empire. This is where you get they would be your modern day Iranians. This is like and then you have the Grecian Empire. That's where you get, you know, the 300 movies and, you know, all that, you know, stuff like that. Then you have the Roman Empire, which they came out of this culture. And then these are going down into the iron and clay, which is iron and clay don't mix. And that's why you see white people still controlling the world, but they're calling themselves Sweden, Romanian, German, UK, American. So the world powers still control the world. And it's in the legs because the Roman Empire is the longest running empire in the world. Okay, and it just transferred into what we know in the modern world today. But if at the end of this prophecy, it says a stone formed without hands is going to come and bash this to pieces. And I'm going to throw you guys for a little loop, but it's actually, have you guys seen Independence Day, like with Will Smith? The Lord is coming with angels, with technology we've never seen. And it's going to look like us to UFOs, but they're not little green men. They're so-called black men, melanated men, and angels that are, you know, tall. And there's been multiple accounts. So that stone coming down, that cloud, that laser beams coming, that war in heaven, where Satan and his angels fought against the Most High and his angels, that's actually a future prophecy of World War III, when alien beings are going to, so-called alien just means foreigner. But in the midst of World War III, you see all the things that are happening over there in Iran.
Yeah.
All those countries are going to stop fighting each other. And they're going to try to fight what's coming from the outside.
I got one scripture, so you guys know. I show you the bill, right? So, spiritually, America is a representation of Egypt, and America is a representation of Saddam, because you guys can see there's a gay bar right here, second building. So you see, here in America, there's a lot of laws that approve that type of life, style of life. So this place is going to be judged because the evil they committed to Israel, the descendants of Israel, which is these people, that put them in slavery, but also the type of life they got, immoral style of life. Okay, and also what they did to this image, according to what the true image with the Lord.
Which is very
so I'm going to read this scripture.
Definition of
Wasn't
blasphemy.
Jesus Filipino?
No, he's not Philip. He was from the tribe of Judah, which
Yeah.
would be like a so-called black man today in America.
So I got Revelation chapter 11 and verse 8, and it says, and their dead bodies shall lie in the streets of the great city, which is spiritually is called Sodom in Egypt, where also our Lord was crucified. Crucified means this:
X'd out.
hide. See, they close it, they hide it.
Yeah.
So the true identity, or as how the Lord looks like, what is being hidden with this image. In this land, when those Spaniards came, those are the ones that start bringing those type of images, which is the Renaissance. After this empire fell, first the Roman Empire fell, then this is the Holy Roman Empire.
Yeah.
Then they fell, then the Renaissance came on, and they came on with this,
And
with
the
Christianity.
Renaissance came up with that.
Yeah,
Yes.
and just so you know, the
After
Israel-
this,
Roman came up with that.
Well,
Holy Roman Empire.
the second half
Yes.
of the Holy Roman Empire was ruled by Jake. When I say Jake, I mean the Israelites. Just like, you know how we take over positions of government, like
Thousand
you have
years.
black generals.
They rule a
You know,
thousand
you
years.
have black politicians and congressmen. They rose to power in the ancient days, but we fell because you know how I mentioned the smallpox brought down the numbers here in the Americas. Well, the bubonic plague unalived millions of people in Europe, which caused the wild man, which would be the so-called white man, to come out of power and to be able to take over those kingdoms by war. And that's where, if you look at a map in Europe of in 1066, all you see is a bunch of dots. You'll see a bunch of dots, and what those things are these different little city-states. They call them city-states, and that's why you had a bunch of castles all over Europe. Because after the fall of the Roman Empire, the Israelites still had a royal mindset, and they wanted to have their own land. So they were warring amongst each other, you know, and so that's where you get the rivalry between France and Europe. So what it was is, or France and the UK, because what it was those nations warring against each other, the people that are on this chart. Because the Israelites are never going to come together in unison until the Most High brings us together. Because even the same things that we're saying now, there's people out there that go out in garments that call themselves Israelites, but they won't agree with what the mark of the beast is. They'll say, oh, it's a spiritual mark. They won't actually, because
Read that scripture, because
the Revelation 13 and 16.
read that.
'Cause
See, so this is
the
what's
main
coming.
prophecy is what we push right here.
This is what's coming.
Is
to
a
the world.
digital technocracy.
Yeah.
So everybody will have a social credit score. There no be physical money.
No dollar.
No dollar. Everything that you buy can be programmed. Let's say you speak out against the government. Oh, you can't buy any bullets now because you might be a threat. Oh, you have 6 months worth of canned food. Oh, you know what? You're capped out for the rest of the year.
Read that scripture,
You know,
brother, they know what the
so
scripture-
what you guys know that this applies. The Bible talks. This is an ancient book, but let me tell you this: it talks about future technology.
That's
This
what
is
we already read. The prophecy, how the Israelites it was gonna be at dead bodies mean
Yeah.
we lost our identity because we got conquered. They ripped up our language and our identity, and they gave us a false
God.
false God.
Yeah.
So now the Lord sent the Spirit. We were like, well, the scriptures
Yeah.
talks
This-
about us.
In history, we got the internet now, so in the age of information, ignorance is a choice. If everybody wants to watch tits and ass and twerking videos, they can do that. But if you want to use the tool and look into deep information, you will be at the internet. It's crazy, but that's what allowed us to know what's going on now.
Remember, this is not about appearance.
No, yeah, because
You guys can be
yeah.
an Israelite.
You,
because
everybody here. It's not
we've
skin
been,
color.
we've been mixed among. We've
Yeah.
been conquered. So now we can look like anyone, Chinese, Arab, but the bloodline goes back to one of the Israel sons. So we're gonna judge according to the scriptures, not according to appearance.
Yeah.
You know, appearance is like, oh, you don't look like me. That's why you're not my people. No, it's a bloodline. Who your father goes back to. That's how we judge according to the scriptures.
So this is the scriptures that go with that image of the MOT to the beast. This is Revelation 13. I'm gonna start at 15. The point is at 16. This is, and he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. And that's worshiping the image is ultimately taking this mark through consent. They're not going to hold you down and point guns at your head and make you take it. It has to be willingly accepted.
And speak means they're going to pass a law.
Laws.
They're going to pass law like, okay,
you're going to be a domestic terrorist.
Enemy of the state.
Yep.
If you don't take it.
Yep.
So why? Why are you going to take it? Hey, I'm not agreeing with your new rules. Okay, no job.
Okay, lock him up.
No license.
Take his license. Take his kids.
No school.
Yep.
Okay, no money.
Oh, you
so
can't,
now
yeah.
you're gonna go willingly. Okay, then I was joking. Get it on.
Yeah. It's gonna be what's called a war of attrition. Who can hold out the most? And those that have the faith, knowing the end game. Because the people that take that, I'll tell you what, they're gonna get blasted with radiation. And there's even a judgment that says that their body's gonna break out in boils. Like literally, you're gonna have like tumors that are exploding all over your body, and that's before the nuclear missiles come. So it's not going to be like, oh, I can buy and sell and I'm going to be able to eat some food. No, you're going to be suffering.
Basically, you're going to be alive in a dead body.
Yeah, you're going to be alive and dead at the same time.
Because your place is dead already, you know, but you're going to be alive.
Your body. So this is Revelation 13 and 16. And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. And if you look up that word mark, it goes into charagma, the Greek word charagma, you know, which goes into a stick and an incision. You know, and the root word for that is a charax, which is an actual syringe that they're using to go underneath your skin to inject it. So the Bible's poetic, man, and that's why people that don't believe the scriptures, they really haven't done their research. But this is continuing, verse 17. It says, I'll start with 16 again. And he causeth all. Who's the he? The self-proclaimed so-called white man that we showed you will be in power at the end of the days. Because he has the military, he has the laws, he has the capabilities to push that type of laws on the whole world. Both small and great, rich and poor, whether you got a lot of money, whether you got no money. Free and bond, whether you're in prison or whether you're out here walking in the street. To receive a mark in their right hand or in their forehead. Their right hand is talking about, you know, those that are dominantly right-handed. But let's say you're paraplegic. You know, you're just in a wheelchair. You can't move anything from the neck down. They'll put it somewhere. It doesn't matter if you get it in your left butt cheek. You know, you've accepted it. Verse 17, and I'm going to finish out. To receive a mark in their right hand or their foreheads. Verse 17, and that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. It's all talking about the same thing. That digital ID that's going to be implanted. Because they already have digital IDs. You already got a credit score. You know, if you got a credit card or whatever. Like, so you're already judged in a certain way in this man's society.
Kind of like the Elon Musk shit.
Exactly like that. Those laws that they passed to do that experimentation is to go with this, and then also
you're basically being controlled.
And this is fear because now they're talking about releasing 6G to monitor wearables is what they said. They want to get 6G out there so they can monitor the devices that are on these people's inside these people's bodies.
That is why AI is it's on too, because everything is the same thing. AI, the narrow link, and this microchip, all is together, man. They need AI to put this mark, all right? And it's in the hand or in the head. So narrow link is in the head. The microchip is in the head. This you're gonna be to the stores, and you're not gonna need a credit card. Your hand's gonna be because you already have a chip on.
And every time I pay, I do tap to pay anyways. I can't remember the last time, unless the machine makes you, unless you're getting cash back or something, you actually insert your card. But most people just are already programmed to tap to pay.
So we already know we're not going to take it. That's why we're here to give the warning, because there is a judgment for everybody that does it. And also,
you got that judgment?
No, you can read that, brother. Read this, Revelation 14 and 9 and 10. So there is going to be a judgment to whoever takes it. Takes the mark of the beast.
That's right.
Which it means you know, it's a digital device that if you had it, you're gonna be able to get a license, get a place to live, get a job, buy food. But if you don't, you're gonna be sent to concentration camps.
Yep.
So
And
you're forced to get this.
yes,
No,
you're
you don't
forced.
You're
but
forced, but you're not forced.
You're forced, but you're not
yeah, you
forced.
see, yeah. So
You're I mean, you're forced because if you don't do it, then you don't get like certain perks. You know?
Yeah.
They're just trying to steer you.
huh?
They're just trying to steer you.
That's what they want.
I will, man. And I'll tell you what, if the Lord's dealing with you guys too, man, you guys got to say no just like we got to say no. Don't think that you guys are going to be exempt from just because you're young or you're not 18 yet, whatever it
They
is.
don't care, man.
They don't care, man.
They don't care, they're
They're going
babies.
to do this to little babies, man. It's going to get bad, man. If you guys, yeah, man, it's going to get bad. If we could talk more about how in detail bad it's going to get, our videos would be taken down. It's intense, man. And this Bible is not a joke. Like, we're not up here with like some
I got this.
a pastor telling you things are going to be okay. We're telling you things that are coming.
This is what the Lord says to do it, because He knows and He already tell us that we're going to be tested. This is the book of Revelation chapter 2 and verse 10. And it says, fear not of those things which thou shalt suffer. Behold, the devil shall cast some of you into prison, that they might be tried, and yet shall have tribulation 10 days. Be thou faithful unto death, and I will be given the crown of life. So see, it says, be faithful even if you have to give your life.
Get locked
But
up.
don't take this device. Even if you gotta die, do it, but because He's gonna rise us up again in the kingdom. So we already know how these lives that we're living and what is the Spirit does.
And it's crazy about this whole encounter is either the Lord really loves you or the Lord really hates y'all. Because at this point, you guys know what's coming, and you guys are going to be held at a higher standard because all these other people that are walking in La La Land, they don't know what the hell. But now you guys are going to be prepared so when you see this coming, you guys will probably think, oh man, that's what those guys are talking about, marks and wearables and stuff. But you see, nothing's happening right now. That's why we're the prophets. We know what's going to come before it comes. And we're not here to get numbers, get money, get people, hey, give a donation. We're here to give you the damn message. And if you people take it or not, then that's on you.
You see those young black men that pass by, right?
Yeah,
So
I
they
got time.
they
I got
laugh
time.
because
Yeah.
they know what we
They
do.
know exactly
They know
what
the
we're doing
message.
right now.
So what did He say?
I ain't got
don't got time.
Yeah,
So
man.
the
That's
Lord
scary.
already were like,
You
okay.
always have time for the Lord.
Yeah,
You
no. So when he's got no food,
Yeah, he
when,
got-
when somebody's kicking his front door trying to get in, he's Lord, please. The Lord's gonna be, you know what? I don't got time right now. He's just gonna leave.
I'm
You
gonna
know?
go and
gonna be
do
crazy,
to the
man.
ones that are
Yeah.
they pay attention to my message.
I'm
Okay,
gonna
brother.
read that one that you wanted on. This is Revelation 14 and which one did you say? 8 up? Or did you say 9 and 10?
I think it's 9 and 10. No, I think it's 9 and 10, bro.
Yeah, 9 and 10. Yeah, that's the one. Revelation 9 and 10. It says, and the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast and his image, and receive his mark in his forehead or in his hand, this is the angel telling you what's going to happen if
So
you
this
take
is
it.
like the mark, right?
Yeah, that's the
That is the
MOC
mark.
beast. Yeah, man. The mark of the beast. This is verse 10. It says, that same person that took that mark, it says, the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of God, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation. The word indignation just means righteous anger. And he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone. Because ultimately that fire and brimstone is not talking, no, there's no such thing as hell, where you're burning in forever. You're just like, you guys are what, 15, 16, 14, you know, that age, the Lord ain't going to judge you for eternity for what you did in your 14, 15, 18 years of life, man. That's a fear tactic. But that fire and brimstone is talking about when nuclear missiles hit Babylon the Great, which is America. There's going to be nuclear war. You know, have you guys ever seen Terminator Judgment Day when the skeleton's holding on? It's going to be like that, man. So let me finish this. This is continuing. It says, and he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb. And that's how you know it's not talking about a spiritual hell, because why would the angels and the Lamb be in hell? The hell just means the pit, a grave, or a low place. So
Suffering.
suffering.
Yeah.
Like you ever heard say I'm catching hell? Same thing. It's really easy to
Suffering,
understand.
state.
Yep. So it's a very profound message, God. But we are the Hebrew Israelites. You know, we're Great Millstone because you'll see other camps out there with different names. But we come out here every Saturday. You know, we've been coming out here every Saturday for years. We've learned from men that have been doing this for decades before us. But if you brothers or if you guys have ever heard of people called Hebrew Israelites, you know, online, you're talking crazy, screaming and stuff like that, that's what we do. But with you guys come up with a question, this is how we deal with people. We're not out here yelling. If you guys got a sincere question, we'll deal with anybody. Look, we're not going to tell you guys, oh, you guys don't look like us, you're too young, you're not going to be able to hear what we say. No, anybody that has a question, we'll answer it with scriptures.
Thanks for talking to us.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. You guys have a good one, okay? You guys be safe.
I like
Yeah,
that.
So basically, this is the Antichrist.
That's a good way to say it, because Antichrist means against the Most High, and that is an image. Yeah, man. And there's more than one Antichrist.
But Antichrist is everyone that comes against the Messiah.
Yeah.
And that comes against the Messiah. Okay? So that's an Antichrist. Anybody that say, oh, this is how it is, and I believe in him. Okay, so you are an Antichrist.
Like there was an old man that just went like this, because he didn't want to hear this, because he's just so old. He's been indoctrinated his whole life to hear that, you know, that's how Jesus looked, and in no way he could be black. Anything but black. Maybe he was brown olive colored, man. The only olives I seen are pitch black and green. So I don't know what they're talking about.
Remember this, because when I didn't have this truth, when I asked my dad, hey, who are we? Because my dad is so-called white man. All right, he looks like a so-called white man. He always was telling me, "Oh, we are from Europe, we blah blah blah." But I was like, "Oh man, doesn't make sense." You know, like didn't make sense our type of life that we had. And you know, years and years passed, man, and I was the only one that had that question until I find out myself that my dad got his appearance for his grandma, not from his dad. All right, and then I was like, okay, so my dad has a brain wash. He was afraid to say like we're not descendants of so-called natives. So he was thinking that, oh, I want to call that I'm a European because of this.
The social benefits that you would get from calling yourselves European or Spaniard was higher than calling yourselves.
And I'm saying this because take this. You guys can be an Israelite. Don't look your appearance. Go back to who your forefather is, and then pray to the Lord.
Are any of you guys like Irish or Sicilian? Like you guys got Irish on your father's side?
I'm a little Irish.
Yeah, most likely, because a lot of the Irish, you know, and even parts of Europe, man, France and England, a lot of those so-called white people have their lineages that go back to melanated men like this. You know, even though we say that Judites, the majority of the Judites are the black men, you know, Judah has had women of all types of nations, man, way back when. So they're gonna come out looking like every nation underneath in the earth. You know, that's why in there's a scripture in Revelation that says, "I saw all nations and kindreds and people gathered together." You know, ultimately that's gonna be the Israelites coming from all walks of life. You know, so we're not again judging on physical appearance, but yeah, man, if you guys did want to look up more information, it's Great Millstone. You guys can go on YouTube, type in Great Millstone. Yeah, you know, like a millstone.
You guys
like
go live?
Yeah, we're live right now. Yeah, we have a channel. We have a channel. A couple channels. And we stream, but YouTube is our main platform where we go and teach. But you know, you'll see us
What's it called?
everywhere. It's called the Great Millstone. Yeah, Great Millstone.
And if you listen our brothers, because we go straight on who our enemy is.
Yeah.
All right, but like I said, don't take it like personal.
They say,
if
"Fuck
you
your
look
white
like
man."
an Edomite, that's a so-called white man. That's what it's important to understand who you are as a nation and what your lineage go back to.
Yeah.
Because you're gonna be like, yeah, I'm agree with you, even if you looks like a so-called white man. You're gonna understand that this is the curses.
Yeah.
Like my son, he looks lighter than me, man. Like lighter than me.
But he's still related.
Yeah.
But yeah, he don't look like his two brothers, his older brothers. Like it's completely different, man. Because he looks like my dad. So when we didn't have this truth before, everybody was like, oh, look at this, the white man, the widow, I'm beautiful. But now that we got the truth, he feel different because it's not what we taught. Now he knows that the melanated people is the ones that are right.
And you guys want to know how fucked up? If you guys never heard the saying that the Mexicans think that themselves as, there's a saying I'm gonna say in Spanish and then I'm gonna translate it, but it's called "para mejor la raza," and that translates to make the race better, to improve the race, or to make the race to improve on the race, and that means by getting somebody that's white into the bloodline.
Yeah.
See how messed up we were thinking to try to we gotta be buddy with the people that colonized us. So that's called what you get Stockholm syndrome. That's a mental disease that our people thought was, and his dad, I'll say like his dad had a mental disease. My dad had a mental disease. My dad don't like black people for whatever reason. He had a negative experience in his past life or in his past with them, but he doesn't know that we're the same people. But that also even proves that we apply to the curses, because there's no way you should hate your brother for no reason, man. But the point being is that we come out here and we use the Bible. We talk about things that most people it's hard to swallow. We're not politically correct. We don't care about being nice. We don't care about catering to people's feelings in a padded room type world, man. Just the raw truth.
So people always accuse us to say like, oh, you hate
You're
white
hateful.
men.
Oh, you're
You hate white men. No. There is no such thing as white men.
Yeah.
That's a creation. Black men also is a creation. Okay, so
Play
what
on
we
words.
hate according to the Bible is the Edomites.
Yes.
Okay?
That's
The Edomites.
Yep.
In the other nations. All right?
And that's what the Bible calls
Yeah.
white people. When you see Edomites or Idumeans, that's what the Bible actually calls the race of white people, because everybody comes from an ancient nation then.
Yeah.
And every nation is mentioned here in the Bible. That's what the brothers say.
So we don't hate like a person that looks like a European. No, because there's Edomites that looks like me.
Yeah.
And Edomites that looks like my brother
Yeah.
that is over there, the so-called Negro. Because we got mixed each other. And there is Israelite that look like you guys. Okay? So understand, it's the same thing. This Edomite like look like a so-called black man because his sea line goes back to European. And the same. An Israelite like looks like a so-called white man. That's what we judge according to the Spirit, which is the Bible. If a person comes against this, it's because he might not be an Israelite. He might be an enemy, because the Lord never deal with any nation outside the nation of Israel.
Do you guys know who these girls are? Have you ever seen them on Disney? It's like an older show on Disney. But they're like, they were a major popular show. I can't remember what it's called. It's messed up, but their dad is actually a white man. But you see how they have the appearance of a so-called black. Yeah. But it doesn't matter how they look, because their father is a Edomite. So the spirit of their father is in them. It's not like they probably gonna marry a white man too, just because you always see a black woman with a white dude, just for some reason. But yeah, man, there's a lot that goes into this Bible. But if you guys have any other questions for us, or anything like that, yeah, man, but that's pretty much the message. The main thing that we try to push is, is the sign still there? Yeah. The main thing that we push is this right here. You see even our people look white. It's a Mexican girl with a white dude. So all their seed is his seed. It's not even though those kids got black hair or whatever like that, they are what their father is. So it doesn't matter a woman, going outside of her nation, because she can't pass on the lineage. That's like in the ancient movies, they would always kill the son and then the prince, and then they would kill all the lineage on the male side, to get rid of their bloodline. So they would, like, what's that movie, King Arthur? That story? They were trying to kill him since he was a baby. Same thing, because they understood that that's where it came from.
They tried to do that with Jesus. Trying to kill him on
Judah. He's from Judah. It says it's evident that our Lord sprang from Judah.
Thanks for talking to us.
Yeah,
I got this scripture, guys, before you go. So I said that the Father only deals with the Israelites. There is no one outside the nation of Israel that is going to break down the scriptures, because the Lord never make a covenant with them outside the nation of Israel. So that's why Christianity is a big confusion for the world. Okay? This is the book of Psalms 147 and verse 19.
Oh yeah.
He showing his word unto Jacob, his statutes and his judgment unto Israel.
The law.
20. He had not dealt so with any nation, and as for his judgments, they haven't not known them. Praise ye Yahawah, bahasham, Yahawashi. Okay? So it says like it's never been the other nations, they don't know his judgments, his statutes and commandments. Only the nation of Israel are the only one, his descendants, they're going to be able to break it down. No one else, man. That's why it's so important to get this message and go. You guys can go and read history, the Bible, first and foremost. And then if you're an Israelite and the Lord wants you, you're gonna start understanding. And then you need to find a teacher, because the Lord set up order. Okay? And this, we got elders and apostles that guide us to do this ministry. We just don't wake up one day and be like, oh, I'm a prophet. I'm gonna go on the streets, get the Bible, and I know the Bible. No,
we didn't come up for this.
They teach us the Bible, man.
Yeah, we're not the only two men. We're out here, but don't think that we're alone. Because in every major city, from East Coast to West Coast, you're gonna see a camp just like this. You're not gonna see a lot of big numbers in church, because this is for men that are really serious about the Bible. Let's just say that. And studying, it takes a lot of I could point blank, it takes a lot of balls to come out here, man, and not, deal carnally with people.
Remember, we are the Hebrew Israelites. We believe by faith that we're the descendants of the nation of Israel. Me and my brother, my brother and I, we're descendants of the tribe of Issachar, so-called Mexicans. My brother that is teaching around the corner, he is from the head tribe, which is Judah, the so-called Negroes. He is the brother that, he is the leader of the whole nation. That's why the so-called white men treat them so badly, because they know who they are. And if the head is down, the whole body is down. They understand how much oppression they put in the so-called white, so-called Negro by music, and they only use them for entertainment,
gang
sports,
culture,
and
drug
music.
culture,
Yes.
Being a thug, being a fucking super gremlin.
And Hispanics and Latin or Native Americans people, they follow the custom of the so-called Negro, because in the spirit they know that they are the head tribe.
The vibration comes from the top down.
Correct.
Even though we all have the spirit of an Israelite, that's why people will look at Mexico. Oh, you wearing gold chain because you want to be black? No, it's just because we got the same spirit. But they set a lot of the pace for the main culture, like hip hop, rap, the way people dress. Look, like for example, that white boy wearing baggy clothes, a big stuff. That was all started by minorities and stuff. But just,
there is brothers that look like you.
Yeah.
With us teaching the Bible. So we're not, like I said, we're not teaching that only black men are the Hebrew Israelites. We're not teaching that.
My mom, even though my dad is a Mexican, dark skinned Mexican, right? My mom would look like a white girl, but she has curly hair like a black woman. Like she got damn near a fro. Like it's a lot of hair, because even on my mother's side, even though she doesn't have as much melanin as other people, hey man, she's an Israelite, because my grandfather, even on my mother's side, had an afro, man. I tell you, white people don't have afro. It's crazy, man. I gotta show you some pictures right now. Yeah,
that's all. Read the Bible. If you guys got questions, come to us. We're here every Saturday, from 1 to 3. Sometimes more, but most of the times it's from 1 to 3 o'clock.
You guys can go to YouTube, type in Great Millstone,
I'll
LA, Great Millstone, New York, and you guys may find a teacher that teaches the way that you really like. Because I know the same teacher that this brother listens to, he may look at different teachers than what I like to listen to. But we're still getting the same message, because all the brothers are teaching the same thing. It's not like you're gonna ask us a question and you go to the camp in LA and they're gonna give you a different answer. You're gonna get the same thing. But yeah, you guys know, it was nice talking with you guys. If you guys got nothing else for us, we're gonna be out, man. My name's Caesar, man.
Asher.
You know, I said, yeah, Amar. So like, that's what I call it. Yeah.
So take care.
Yeah, you guys have a good one, man.
All right.
Yeah, you guys have a good one. Be safe.
When I was just walking by, I was like, what are these guys on about?
So now you know.
Yeah, that's sweet.
We-
Thank you so much.
And
Have a good
remember,
day.
we got it from the Bible. It's nothing from us. It's from the Bible.
God bless.
Okay. Look, do the same.
I said my government name.
It happens, bro.
Whatever.
Hey, king.
I know.
That,
Yeah.
Remember the
My
verse
slave
that
name
king.
is horrible.
Hey,
But yeah, it was, hey man, all the encounters we have been pretty positive. You know, with people actually, you know, getting a correct answer because of the amount of misinformation that's out there.
they came in good spirit,
They
man.
came-
There's three
yeah, they
kids,
came in
man.
three
Maybe
great-
16,
yeah,
16 to 13 years old.
Yeah, man.
But they came in a good spirit, man. They're
Yeah.
calm, relaxed, they take the message.
Yeah.
And that's how it is, man.
And-
Hey, we want
yeah.
Yahawah to be exalted and his people.
And so it says, answer every man, you know, like different,
According-
like according to, you know,
yeah.
like it says, have your speech seasoned with salt, man. You know, we weren't constantly getting excited. We were telling them, you know, finish in English, man. No, I didn't even realize we get. So we're just saying, man. You know, we used words that they could understand, man. Because let's say maybe 3 grown men came up, we would probably use some different verbs, different examples that a man would understand. But we use simple things that they could understand. Because this, what's that saying goes, you're not an expert in what you know unless you can explain it to a fifth grader. You know.
We had 3 Judas, man, so far. One before camp. 2 that passed by with the Edomite woman's brother, maybe?
Yeah,
Right?
There's 2 of them.
All right.
Yeah.
But these guys, the first one said like, I believe most of what you guys saying, but not that part. Okay, I asked him like 3 times. So, like, tell me which people you think you are. You're like, oh, is there? But he never say it, all right? Because he might not believe that part, all right? He might not believe that we're what we teach according to the 12 tribes chatter, okay? So I was like, okay. But then these 3 kids were here listening when Judah passed by, and he said like, I don't got time right now. Okay, so that's what we're saying, man. We don't judge according to appearance. We judge according to the spirit of Yahawah, bahasham, Yahawashi. Okay, and that's one thing that we separate from the other camps. That some other camps like, oh, it's gotta be black, melanated, and curly hair. That is not truth, man. All Israel doesn't look like a so-called Negro today's day, man.
All look like Shaq.
Yeah, no, that's a false. And those people are gonna be account for how they teaching, okay? Because they are a stumble block to Israelites if they teach that a melanated man with curly hair can be saved only. And no, man.
I was at work and they have like this little, it's called a drainage pond where there's like excess water goes in. I must have been in the middle of like a migration route or something, but I saw 3 different species of ducks all in one pond. They're all ducks, but some of them had a red head with a white stripe and like brown feathers. The other one had a green head, it looks like a regular duck, and then there were some ones that had it looked like a mohawk, and it had 2 white lines on it on both sides of its eyes. And I'm like, man, you know, it's the same duck, but look how many different variations there is. You know, this is Jeremiah 12:9. It says, mine heritage is unto me as a speckled bird. The birds round about are against her. Come ye, assemble all the beasts of the field, come to devour. You know, and that's speaking in a parabolic term, talking about a speckled bird. You know, a speckled bird is coming in all different shapes, sizes, color variations, man. You know, so the point being is that, like we were explaining before, that we're not all gonna look like, you know, Judah. And like the scripture goes, Ephraim, which is representing of the northern tribe, the northern kingdom, Salakia, is a cake lightly turned. And I can get that right now. Let's see, were you looking for something?
There was 2 Edomites. Yeah, what it said, like,
I got that.
the spirit, bear witness that we are the
Oh
children.
yeah, that's their spirit bears our spirit that we are the children. You want me to look it up?
Yeah.
I got you. This is their.
There was two Edomites, old Edomite women, and we always tell them, man, that we're not teaching according to appearance.
Romans 8:16.
Like I said, my dad was a Romans what?
8:16.
Oh, hey, I was a 9
No.
looking for 6. And he always was teaching me, man, and my family that we were European descendant because the way he looks like, he was looking because he's already in the spiritual world. So, but there was something on me, man, that inside me that I wasn't linked right because the curses.
Same.
Because the
same,
curses, man.
Same.
Until the Lord blessed me to understand, and I got my dad. Hey, you're embarrassed. You feel embarrassed because of where we're descended from.
His dad knows the truth now in the spirit.
Yeah.
You know, he's in the spirit. Same with my abuelo, man. I don't know why my abuelo was dark as shit, but he was convinced, you know, that he knew about the Hebrew Israelites too. He even asked him before he passed away if he ever heard about him. And he said, yeah, I know about it. You know, so I thought that was crazy because he still put pictures of Caesar Borgia on the refrigerator, man. I'm like, God damn, man. Like, God damn. You know, like, Jake knows, man, but they just so stuck with what they've been taught, and they're scared to be different. Because one thing of being a so-called Mexican as an Issacharite, you don't want to attract attention when you don't want to, man. So it's easier to assimilate into a culture that you're borderline accepted, because white people get along with Mexicans more than they get along with black people. Issacharite played on that card, man, and they took advantage of that being over the so-called black man, and look what it got you, man. Fucking looked at looked like illegal and got you rounded up in a bus, man. Because I guarantee a lot of those fucking Issacharites that got deported did not like Judah, man. You know,
because
fuck
the
them.
curse is still on them.
This
That's
is
a major thing to see when a so-called Negro hates Hispanic or Native American, man. That's a token to see that the Lord is not dealing with him.
the white man did a good job on it.
And the opposite thing also. Go ahead, brother. Read that.
This is Romans 8:16. It says, the Spirit beareth witness with our spirit that we are the children of the Most High, Yahawah, bahasham, Yahawashi. It just says God right here.
So it doesn't matter how much time you spend and a person try to bring the scriptures, right? These, hey, look, la 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 la, all of it. It doesn't matter. The Spirit always reveals who they are. If they are one of the one third, or he is a heathen.
And this is just another one of those scriptures that tell you appearances do not matter. This is Hosea 7:8. Ephraim, which are your so-called Puerto Ricans, he hath mixed himself among the people. Ephraim is a cake not turned. So that's where you get, you know, light-skinned, you know, different shades. And that's where you get the term, what they would call swarthy or tawny. And that's what they would give the description of the Native Americans, whether you're light-skinned or dark-skinned. And that's where you got the reclassification of the Negroes and the indigenous Gadites.
Hey, bro.
Go ahead.
And that hurts, bro, because I remember my brother when we were little, because my brother is lighter than I, but I got cousins that are really brown. When we were little, we were playing, and my brother called one of my cousins like Prieto, which means black. And my uncles, they're dark persons from my mother's side, right? So she started crying because my brother feel better than my cousins by calling them Prietos. So my cousin went and talked to my uncle, like, hey, he's calling me Prietos. And because my dad and my brother, they were like, hey, what the fuck? They were so mad, man.
That's right up there with calling somebody like a mayate.
Yeah, bro. So it's that part that our people believe that they're better because they're light skinned.
And that's why that mejor la raza fucking saying just drives me crazy, man.
And
To
it's not
think that-
true, man.
It's not true, man. 'Cause
It's
we're
not
greater
true.
than y'all and everything, man. Yo, we go in the sun and we glow, man. I was talking shit to my coworkers. I'd say, bro, you're looking like a lobster. Go get some fucking sunscreen, man. I was like, bro, don't cut. I was like, I always tell them, because hey, bro, I work in construction. I'm an iron worker, man. We talk shit all day. I'll be like, you cover that white skin up, boy. Like, you cover that white skin up before you get burnt. And they all laugh. They all laugh at me. Say, we're different, man, in the sense of like the way that I was joking, you know, my coworkers and shit. But it's funny, man, because you know, the superiority that they have fed their people is gone now, man. The propaganda machine is gone. Everybody wants to be like Judah. Everybody wants to be like Jake. Like it was a flex even a couple years ago to call yourself Mexican, man. You know, like it was, damn, we had the champions, we had the boxers, we had, you know, everybody was proud to be a Mexican, man. I saw so many banderas, and now look, everybody's hiding them because we're under persecution under our enemy now.
And I bring that up about families, right? How they feel with their lighter skin, because the spirit is what reveals you, man. Okay, who you are. It doesn't matter your skin color.
Man, you remember
that is the spirit, man.
Remember that Gadite?
Yes,
bro. He even talked like a Gadite, but he looked like a straight white boy,
blue
bro.
eyes.
He was wearing turquoise too. It was turquoise with the. I think he even had like a feather
you
earring.
asked, I remember you asked like, hey man, who you are? He said like, I'm a Navajo.
Navajo.
Yeah.
So he's no, he's I don't want to. It was a native to America. He's like, yeah.
And even his voice,
yeah, man.
He goes back to Gadite voice, man.
And he had high cheekbones too. Like if you looked at his facial structures, it looked like almost like a Gadite face on a white boy, bro.
When he started talking, I was like, he is.
He was rocking chains
because he got that voice of the Gadites. All right, I got one, brother. So is the spirit. It is the one that reveals, okay, the spirit of a person to believe this truth, man. Okay, could it be a light skin or a dark skin? It doesn't matter. What matters is that it's an Israelite, and the Lord gave the spirit to that person to believe. Okay. 1 Corinthians chapter 3 and verse 5. Who then is Paul, and who is Apollos, but ministers by whom ye believe, even as Yahawah bahasham Yahawashi gave to every man. See, who is the one that gave? Yahawah bahasham Yahawashi. But like I told these young kids, there is order, there is ranks in this ministry. We got people that are watching over us. Okay? So yeah, if you want to come under Great Millstone, hey, there is rank here. Okay, there is a rank. You have to follow orders.
You're gonna be coming in and teaching whatever you want.
Yeah. Continue. 6. I have planted, Apollos watered it, but Yahawah bahasham Yahawashi gave the increase. Okay? Okay, yeah, I believe this, but I'm gonna go and wait and read the Bible about this other thing. Okay, so if you get it later, it's because the Lord bless you. Say like, okay, this is, now I get it. Or it could be another scripture that you need to believe the one that you didn't receive it at that time. Or another brother is going to explain the same scripture in a different way, and now you get it.
The aha moment.
Okay? So it's Yahawah bahasham Yahawashi that reveals, gives the understanding by using his man. It's not about us. It's not about, I'm only going to listen a light-skinned brother. I don't like to listen to dark-skinned brother. Because I believe that Israel looks like this. And you know, I'm only going to listen to dark, woolly hair brothers and not Hispanics brothers.
Well, I can't trust that camp because they got a white boy in their ranks.
Yes. It's not about that, man. It's the spirit.
That's right.
And don't be simple.
I got one. Huh? Yeah, don't be simple, man. That's it.
Okay.
Don't be simple. This is 1 Peter 3:15. It says, but sanctify the Lord Yahawah bahasham Yahawashi power in your hearts, it's in your mind, and be ready always to give an answer to every man that asketh you a reason of the hope that is in you, with meekness and fear. Because that meekness and fear is we don't know based on your physical appearance whether you're Israelite, a heathen, or whatever, but through the process of having a conversation and different questions that you're going to ask and the way that you respond to the answers that when we give them, hey man, it's going to tell. I was trying to keep my eye on when they got low. I was going to knock them down, but it didn't do anything. But yeah, man, you know, you can't deal with somebody based on just how they look, man.
No, it's not. We learn from our apostles how important is the elect, the 144,000, and the rest remnant that is going to be saved. But we get it that they're not all so-called Negroes, man. Okay? So-called Puerto Ricans or Puerto Rico, they got light skinned brothers and dark people over there, man.
Yeah.
Okay? So we know this truth, man. We know that the truth.
Even Issachar, man.
Yeah.
Issachar got so many different variations of dark, with big lips, wide noses to looking like fucking, even though it's a bad example, but even looking like, what's it,
There's a brother in LA, brother.
Cameron Diaz, which is like
Yeah,
blonde hair, blue eye, but shit, her dad's an Issachar.
There's brothers in LA that they call his nickname Canelo because his hair hair is like brown, red.
I
Yeah.
was sitting. Man, that happened to me. Like literally, I was in an orientation for a job site. We had to go in. And we were waiting in like these line of chairs to go get our picture taken by the security guys there, and I was sitting next to this guy because they called two guys at a time. I never met this guy. Looked like a straight white boy, and he said, "What was your name?" It's like Miguel Alvarez, right? And he like said it perfect. I look at him. I was like, bro, I was like, are you Mexican? He's like, yeah, my dad's Pupu. I'm like, hey, I bet you got the nickname Canelo or something like that. Straight white one, exactly like the way it was an Issachar next to me the whole time, man. I'm thinking I'm sitting next to an Edomite, you know? It's crazy though.
Yeah, we judge according to the Spirit, man, and it's using the Bible to prove that this is a spiritual work. Hey, that is why, man, I'm going to bring, hey, bro, shall you read it, bro? It's Ephesians chapter 6, and if I'm not mistaken, that's why we have to get all the hammer, the sword, the shield, and this faith, because we working spiritually, man. We're not carnal people, okay? We're not carnal. We're not doing this battle carnal. We're spiritually fighting, okay? And the reward of this, we're gonna see it in a spiritual power or a spiritual salvation, because we know by faith that the Lord is gonna bless brothers. He's gonna use brothers to give brothers salvation using his spiritual power according to the scriptures, okay? Because Jacob's trouble is coming. Listen, man. It says Jacob's trouble, not Edomites or Edom's trouble or Ishmael's trouble, Ammonite, Moabite's trouble. No, the Jacob's trouble. That Jacob's got changed his name to after the battle with the angel. His name got changed to Yasharallah. Okay, Prince of the Power, which is Israel. Okay, so. We're doing this battle spiritually. Go ahead, brother. You got it?
I got it. This is Ephesians 6 and 11. Put on the whole armor of Yahawah bahasham Yahawashi, that ye may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil.
See?
You know, that's like the darts.
See, you might be able to stand.
Yeah.
They might say something against this truth. No, we're going to stay according to the scriptures, man. We're not going to be moved. We're building our house on a rock, not on the sand. Which means on the spirit of Yahawashi.
And the wiles could be whitewashing history. You know, the propaganda, the movies that he puts out would have you think that that is the right way, that that's the truth, or that the Most High is white. But hey, man, if you look at it through the spiritual lens, man, you can dissect all of it and see where the lies are. Verse 12, for we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places.
See, rulers of darkness, that image, when we were talking about those kids, that's darkness, that's a lie. That they put spells on the people.
And that's what they put out there to public view. Not to mention the sacrifices that they're doing in the dark to try to keep people's minds still captivated with this. The seances and different rituals that they do over different albums, like the Beatles cover. You said where they had a bunch of dismembered baby parts.
They always
and
put
like,
it on.
What
joking.
they were
doing in the darkness.
That's where you get the Wilson face. You know, the black, the bloody hand with the print on it.
Yes.
Because that's a preferred tactic, you know, that the elite do to pretty much process these kids through the satanic rituals through great amounts of pain. If you look into the files, which everybody forgot about, but we read a lot about, we've been known about that for years, man. You know? So going back to that, these, what does it say? Wickedness in high places. That's Wisdom of Solomon, verse 12, where it talks, or chapter 12, where it talks about the odious works. I gotta get that. The most odious works of witchcraft. You know, and that's what these people are doing behind the scenes. They're thinking that nobody can see them. They're out there doing the most with unaliving the innocence, taking away innocence, doing the things that you'd only ever seen in the worst horror movies. This is Salakia. Yeah. Here it is. This is Wisdom of Solomon 12, and I'm going to start at verse 3. For it was thy will to destroy by the hands of our fathers both those old inhabitants of thy holy land. And the old inhabitants would be known as the Canaanites. If you know that we read in Joshua, when he was going across the river Jordan, he came across Jericho, which is the first city. And from there on, he was, you know, taking out all the heathens, man. You know, not leaving cattle. Some cities they would take the cattle. Some cities they would destroy the gold, the garments, and everything. You know. But this is verse 4, whom thou hatest for doing most odious works of witchcraft and wicked sacrifices, and also those merciless murderers of children and devourers of man's flesh and the feasts of blood. Man, so that's what we were talking about with these files, man, and that's talked about in the Bible. So you people say, oh, that's not in the Bible. The files, the E-files are in the Bible, man, and they've been doing that since the ancient of times. That's why Israel got cast out from casting their children into Moloch. When you got people getting ready to celebrate Easter, which is Ishtar, which is a fertility goddess, and the way in the ancient times they would take blood of the children, they would take the egg, dip it in the color of dip it in the child's blood, and then they would take those eggs, which is a fertility symbol, and put it on the altar. And you already know what they were doing with the child body, man. That's where you get these rituals. That's where they were do different seances, man. They would shrink the heads down. They were doing the most, man. And that's
flesh-eating man.
Flesh-eating.
Yeah, flesh-eating people. Those are the elites of the Isa Edom and all their different fucking evil people, man.
And that's these people plugged in the matrix, man. They just, if I don't know, they're like the horse with the blinders. As long as I don't see it, as long as it's not my kid, hey, man, it's not happening, bro.
Yeah, as long as I don't see it, it's not happening. No.
And we're the crazy ones, man. Now, y'all people got some mental diseases that you guys can bottle it up and not have anything to say, man. I look forward to coming out of camp every week. I'd be able to let it out and tell you people what it is while you got your blinders on, man. That's why at the end of the day, when shit hits the fan, we're going to be laughing. We're going to be smiling. We're going to be drinking. So I got a special bottle when this shit flips, man, that I'm going to open up and drink to my enemies falling, man. And while you people are going to be, oh, my kids and my future, my retirement. Oh man, I got young ones, man. Hey man, leave it up to the Lord. But you guys didn't put your investment in the spirit, man. You guys got guns, you guys got bullets, you guys got MREs, canned goods, like the Mormons. You go to their garage, they got all stockpiles of food for days, man. None of that's gonna help you, man. Hey, y'all saving that for us, man. So
Yeah, because you build up your house outside the rock.
yeah, you're building it on sand.
In sand. And I'm going to read that scripture.
Loose foundation. Yeah, no, that's it.
Okay. I'm going to read this. Matthew 7:24. Therefore, whosoever hearing the sayings of mine and doeth them, I will like him unto a wise man, which build his house upon a rock. All right, man. The people that understand, because be not only listeners but doers of the word. So you listen, you understand, and then you obey. All right, means you do the thing. Okay, 25. And the rain descended, and the floods came, and the winds blew, and beat up the house, and it fell not, for it was founded upon a rock. So everything what you're doing right now outside Yahawah, bahasham, Yahawashi, is going to crumble down, man. It's going to go down. But a man, which is the house, is you. You trusting, you having faith in the Lord and obeying the Lord. You establishing your house, because it's you, your wife, son, and daughters, man. First and foremost, that the Lord can have mercy on your house.
That's why it says, when the enemy shall come in like a flood,
Yeah.
then the standard of the Lord shall be lifted. You know, roughly paraphrasing, because that's the wind, that's the waves, that's the tempest beating against that house, man. Representation of the tribulation that's coming.
Jacob's trouble.
Jacob's trouble.
Go, you know, it's Jacob's trouble is what it's talking about, the evil time, and it's coming. For all you that think like this was a joke, that this was only entertainment, man, you 100% wrong. And like the brother said, we expecting be in a good situation. Okay, go on, bro.
No, please do this.
We are in a good situation, Lord willing, okay? Because we announcing this event to come, which is prophecy, and we trusting in Yahawah, bahasham, Yahawashi, that He has the power to save us, okay? But without, brothers, we're going to close, right?
And I got a closing scripture.
All right.
This is Ecclesiasticus, also known as the book of Sirach, chapter 5 and 7. Make no tarrying to turn to the Lord Yahawah, bahasham, Yahawashi, and put not off from day to day. For suddenly shall the wrath of the Lord come forth, and in thy security thou shalt be destroyed and perish in the day of vengeance.
The day of what?
The day of vengeance.
There we go, man. The Lord is coming to do vengeance and our enemies and all the wicked Israelites, man. Doesn't matter if he is a 1-month-old baby, all the way to the 100 years old man. He's gonna put judgment onto the wicked Israelites. And why? Because the Lord is not judging that little baby that he doesn't even evil or good yet, but his spirit, okay, is the one that is getting judgment in that body.
That's exactly right.
Yeah, but with that, brother, all right, you close.
You all close? Hey man, so Lord willing, this week's camp was edifying. We are Great Millstone, Boise, Idaho. Again, we come in out teaching the truth of the Bible to you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, which make up and consist of the 12 tribes of Israel. So Lord willing that this lesson was edifying, this camp was edifying. We're going to close it by the same way we started this lesson, by facing the east and giving all praises, honor, and infinite glory to
Yahawah, bahasham, Yahawashi, bahasham, rahak.
Hey, and shalom to all you listeners out there. Hey,
Shalom, shalom,
shalom.
Shalom.